I met a gypsy.
That's what makes sports great. You got to have people that are rooting for you and against you in the competition. Like, that's what makes it exciting. But at the time, that was hard to deal with. I had some contractual things that happened too that made it like even more frustrating for me, because the media and some of the people were portraying me in a way that wasn't accurate, and they were just straight up lying about certain things I'd done and whatever. And I was, again, still a pretty young, immature kid. Those first few years I was winning, and I was socially pretty quiet, and I was like, well, screw those people. Like, I'm just going to keep training and work even harder and keep winning races. And like I didn't try to come out and explain situations. I would just bury my head back into my training and come out and try to like win again. Which I don't think was maybe the best. I would definitely do it a little bit different now. But yeah, so I think that was one side of it. But as far as like from what you were talking about, I was fortunate enough to meet some cool people along the way. My buddy Greg, again, like, he really has helped me a lot through my career, because that pressure of being the top guy when you get there was honestly like pretty miserable for a little while. Like, there was a point in 2015, I think, where I was winning World Cups, but like literally sleeping like maybe 1 hour a night, like before my races. Like, I was winning race runs on like 45 minutes of sleep. Like, I would sleep from like 7 a.m. to 7:30 and then get up and go to practice. Like, it was just getting to be a lot for me to maintain this level. And people close to me know this. I haven't really.
Yeah. So like, like, what do you think that was from?
I think for me, like, I don't know, like just the pressure of trying to maintain the level that you build in time becomes very weighty if you're not mature in a way to kind of handle it, you know, because you put so much pressure on yourself, the sponsors, the fans, everybody. And really it's all fictitious. Like, it doesn't mean anything, you know. Pressure is just whatever you make it, you know. You're just there to race and do your thing, and nothing's changed. Like, you're just there to do your best, and you can be content with that effort, regardless of the result. But to emotionally fall in line with that as a kid can be hard, you know what I mean? So there were some years where like I genuinely like loved racing my bike or riding my bike. Like, every day, wake up, love to ride. But going to the races and waking up on race morning, it was like, get me out of here. Like, I don't want to be here. I don't want to race. Like, and I would have qualified first the day before and been like the guy to beat. But it just, for whatever reason, the racing, it was kind of like getting the most of me a little bit. Like, it was just like, man, I would like think like it'd be nice just to have a 9-to-5 job and not have to deal with this level of pressure, and just to be able to know like just nothing was very like, I don't know, life's just a little normal. There's not so many highs and lows of these like emotions and nerves and fears and all this stuff. And that's just something I honestly just had to mature through, you know, and it was kind of tough for me for a year or two. And I remember it came down to my belief. Same conversation. I was talking to my buddy Greg. I remember calling him one morning. I was in France. I'd woke up, I think it was on race day, and I was chatting to him, and I'm like, dude, I'm just like struggling. Like, I'm having a hard time wanting to be here. Like, I just feel so nervous, and like, and nobody would know that about me. You know, I was always like very calm and collective, and no matter how many nerves I felt, like for whatever reason, I have the ability to perform like really good when I feel like that. Like, those nerves have never affected my results. Like, I could be totally like, just like kind of not freaking out, but not comfortable at all, and then get up, do my warm up before my race run, and just like go into my zone and get in the start gate and be like, yeah, it's friggin' on, let's go. And I've just lay it down, and I've always been able to do that, thankfully. And then after the race is over, you're stoked and everything's great, but in the morning when you wake up, like the nerves were really not fun for a few years. And I remember calling him, and he's like, you can always retire. And I remember being like, what? And he's like, you can quit, dude. Like, nobody's forcing you to stay. Like, obviously there's going to be implications if you do that. Like, your pay is going to go way down. You know, you're not going to be able to probably ride and train and do the things you love for a living. You're going to have to like do other things, but you know, you could still enjoy your bike like recreationally and do this and do that. Like, if that's really what you want and you believe and you've worked all this for your whole life and built all this stuff, and you're okay with just kind of letting that go and go a different direction, like, that's fine, man. Like, if that's what you believe is best. And like, when he put it that way, I was like, this is ridiculous. Like, what the heck am I doing?
I'm an idiot.
Dude, like, slap yourself around, like, get a hold of yourself. Like, But I think like I had kind of started feeling like after those years of winning so much, like that's just what I had to do. Like there had been like this law of like, you are the winning guy, you must perform every race. And I kind of lost track of like why I was doing it and the belief behind why I was doing it. So I kind of had to reestablish that. And I ended up winning the race, I think, that day. And then, the next couple of years, everything started, just kept going good, but they just became way more fun. And as I've gotten older now, like I enjoy racing and riding more than I ever have in my whole life. Even though the last few years have been a little tough with some injuries and stuff like that. I've just matured to a point where I'm very comfortable with like, I'm just going to give it my best. And if it goes great, great. And if it doesn't, like, well, I gave it my best, and hopefully, we'll figure it out and we'll get better at the next one. So, but that was a learning process, man. Like, so there is a pressure, I think, that comes with dominating that very few people will ever understand. When I see guys in motocross and other sports that dominate, and I see when they start to fall off and the criticism they get, or when people talk about not enjoying racing, or guys like Stewart and stuff, when I listen to him talk and whatever, I'm like, yeah, I get it. Like, it's very hard to relate to as a fan, because you're like, dude, you're the man, you have everything. Like, why, what the heck is wrong with you? But it is unique if you reach that level. There is a maturing process that needs to happen. And I think for some people, it can kind of break people, if you're not ready for it or have the maturity to kind of get through it.
If you enjoyed this content, please like and subscribe. And to listen to the full 3-hour podcast, search Gypsy Tales in your favorite podcast platform or click the link in the description below. Gypsy Gang.